So the first question is, how do you feel about animals?
Oh, I love animals. I've got 3 cats and a dog, and every
Right on.
time we go to a shelter, I've got to like rip myself out.
To not bring more home, right? Yeah, absolutely. I have a 13-year-old one-tooth pit bull that we
Oh, wow.
we rescued him about 9 months ago from a facility.
Oh,
Yeah,
wow.
he's got like one full tooth and the rest are all ground down. Anyway, yeah, I love animals too. How do you feel about people that abuse animals?
I mean, they're the worst. It's like not acceptable.
Yeah, not acceptable, right?
Yeah.
Absolutely, I totally agree.
I think how someone treats their pets and their animals is like very reflective of how they treat people around them, or just sort of treat the environment and things around them.
I completely agree with you, right? Because, yeah, they treat the animals as a direct reflection of how they most likely treat. Oh, yeah, 100% agree with you. How would you? Third question: how would you qualify or describe animal abuse? It's like, what in your words would be an act of animal abuse? How would you describe that to someone or qualify that?
Yeah, I mean, so like it's like a lot of abuse, right? There's a lot of variations, and it's kind of a spectrum. So
Sure.
there's like the very obvious one where like you're hitting your animals or things like that. But even like neglecting them, leaving them outside, not giving them like food, water,
Sure.
and kind of like their basic needs, or like depriving them of
Sure.
that. Even just like constantly berating and like yelling at them in like a negative tone. Like animals are a lot more intuitive, I think, than a lot
Right.
of people give them credit for. So
I totally agree with you. I think it can be physical, and then like you said, berating them, it can be that emotional, right?
Yeah.
Mental as well, right? And they are more. I agree. They are much more intuitive, right? So all animals are living sentient beings. Would you agree with that?
Yeah. for
Right.
sure.
And they all want to seek pleasure, avoid pain, in all those ways that matter. They're like us, right? Okay. So yeah. So fourth question is the easy one to ask, can be a harder one to answer for sure. It's not a gotcha moment or anything. It's just a conversation. Sorry, I thought I was going to fall. So, what about the animals that we take into slaughterhouses to be killed for meat, milk, and eggs, or to be worn for leather, fur, wool, silk? How do you feel about that?
Yeah, I mean, I think so. Like, I'm personally not vegetarian or anything, so I understand like the need for us as a society to like produce food for everybody. But I think the way that they treat the animals before all of that is like pretty. It's like pretty inhumane, and it's like
Sure.
it's appalling to think about.
Pauling's a very good word. I agree
so
with you.
we like it's actually why we're here today. Like we're trying. There's like a butcher down the shop that we use, or like down the street from us,
Mhm.
that we try to use as much as possible. And we try and like source our food and like eggs and things like that from like more like humane sources rather than like those big mass-produced.
Like factory farms.
Those
like that.
factory farms.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So, and you're doing that because you recognize the inherent, quality of the animal that you care, right? Okay. So, is there a respectful or humane way to kill someone that doesn't want to die?
That doesn't want to die. Yeah, I mean, I don't know if like you can necessarily assign a descriptor like respectful to something like that.
To the act of killing?
Yeah, like the act of
Right.
like in that sense, like you're kind of talking about either murder or like state sanctioned like death sentence, right? So like
Or ending a being's life, right?
right,
So, ending a being's
someone's
life. Yeah.
And so like I don't know if there's like a fully respectful way to do that, because
Sure.
I don't know that I would like use that descriptor, but there's probably like more palatable or like more considerate ways to do it versus others. Like guillotine, probably pretty inhumane. Like not like a cool one, but something where it's like fall asleep and like you go. That's like probably a little bit more palatable for us as like really conscious,
Sure.
sentient creatures.
Sure. So, and we recognize that we ultimately kind of want that humane, respectful way because there's part of us that cares, right, about the other being's experience, right? Because we recognize that, like us, they don't want to have to experience that, right?
Yeah.
So, have you heard of I'm sure of being vegan or veganism? Okay, so do you know what the definition of veganism is? Not a quiz, by the way. Just
Yeah. I mean, I don't know about like an official definition, but I know it's like avoiding like animal or animal byproducts.
Yeah, you're on the right track. Yeah. So it's a lot of people think it's just a diet where you don't eat meat, milk, and eggs. So the animal-free diet, it's a logical conclusion of it. But veganism is an ethical stance that humans should live without exploiting animals. So, because at the end of the day, we don't need to eat animals. We don't need to eat meat, milk, or eggs to be healthy and fit and strong and live a good life. We don't need to wear leather, fur, wool, silk. We can eat other things and we can wear other things. We don't have to use animals as entertainment. We can have other ways to entertain ourselves, right? So and I'm just someone you walked up to and talked to. I don't expect you to like take my word for it on the science. I'm not a scientist, but all the science agrees that you can live a long, healthy, good life without consuming any animal products. So then the question becomes, if you can live and survive and thrive without consuming animal products, then why would we consume them? At that point, it just becomes a choice that we made. But that choice has a victim at the other end of it. It has the animal that was bred to be slaughtered and was used by humans. And there's, like we said, there's really no way of respectfully or humanely killing someone that doesn't want to die. So given that, is there anything that you feel would prevent, like you personally in your personal situation, from being vegan?
Is there anything that like actively prevents me from
Like you
adopting?
personally, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know that there is, really. I think I think from like a Western perspective, and here like in the States, especially like SoCal is like a fairly prosperous area, right?
Sure.
So we've got like the convenience of the options.
Sure.
And so I think in that sense, like that's definitely. If you frame it as a moral argument, I don't think that there's really a good argument.
I agree, and that's why I went vegan 4 years ago for the moral argument. Is I'm 51, I went vegan at 47. So the reason I say that is up until that time, I ate meat, milk, and eggs just like everybody else. And one day I decided that I didn't want to be the reason that an animal was exploited for me to have a meal that I'll forget about 5 minutes later, right? That it doesn't morally justify what happens to the animal's entire existence for me to be able to eat a meal when I can literally just choose something else to eat. And the science backs it up that I can choose something else to eat and still be healthy, right? So then I chose to make that decision. So that's why we're out here, is to help people to think about it and go, okay, well, if we love animals, and honestly, you don't have to even love animals, but just to think that, which we both do. But honestly, someone doesn't have to love animals. They just have to understand that they're worthy of moral consideration, right? And so if they're worthy of moral consideration, then we can make the choice to eat something else, wear something else, and then we're not the reason that an animal was exploited for us. So let me give you a little card. We're not selling anything. This is, I always preface up. Yeah. So there's a QR. Oh, I caught it. There is, oh my goodness. Okay, struggle bus. So there's a QR code on there. The QR code is going to go to this link tree. I always show them what it is. Whole bunch of good stuff. So there's 2 speeches on here which are outstanding. The first one is a TED Talk. The person is really entertaining to listen to. Is a good speaker, which always makes it more enjoyable. And he goes through every argument against veganism and debunks it. Because you leave here today and you go, you know what? That's something that I really want to explore. And then someone says, oh, but what about X, Y, and Z, right? And he goes through and essentially dismantles each one of those. This is called The Greatest Speech You'll Ever Hear. A lot of people literally go vegan right after watching this. Super charismatic speaker too. Really good arguments all the way through. Documentaries that are very eye-opening. Dominion is the one I highly suggest watching. It's hard to watch. It's a brutal watch. It's what actually happens behind the scenes in slaughterhouses and like that. And a lot of people can't get through more than 10 minutes of it. And if you can't watch it, then why should you support it? Right? And so, so it goes through. And the last couple I'll point out, Happy Cow. This is a website and an app. You can go anywhere in the world, plug in where you are, and it'll give you a list of all the vegan restaurants and restaurants vegan options. Really cool. I use it even here at home. Is there anywhere new that opened? I'll look at, oh, there is. Cool. Right? Nutritionfacts.org, really highly robust site, 100% free, done by an actual doctor, not some dude in his basement writing a blog, and it's highly robust on every information about nutrition you could possibly want from a plant-based diet. The last one I'll show you is Challenge 22. Is a 22-day guide, totally free.